Hey everyone, today on People Now.
Let's go, Doctors! You guys are all amazing!
Here star Jerry Harris giving essential workers lots of love and giving us all the details about hosting an exciting virtual prom.
Plus, Valerie Bertinelli opening up about finally facing her long-standing emotional issues and more in this week's People Cover story.
How Adele is embracing her life after making major changes for the better.
They have different stuff that you don't have.
Lauren Lapkus gets us up to speed on her hilarious new movie and her best tips on the game everyone's playing, Animal Crossing.
Plus,
I don't think that we, see eye to eye.
Real Housewives star Kyle Richards gets real about her friendship friction with co-star Drake Kemsley.
That and more today on People Now. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome to People Now. Happy Wednesday, halfway through the week. Feeling good. Andrea, how are you?
I'm great. I love that we had Jerry Harris from Cheer on the show today. He is so lovable. He's so inspiring. I was definitely in a really great mood after interviewing him, especially now that I think about it. It's been 2 months working from home, Jeremy. So crazy. But what's weird is I feel like you're still here with me, like always kind of like over my shoulder. It's like here with me in spirit.
Wait, is that a piece of art from your mother?
Yes, it is.
Wow, the big reveal. Look at
Mom,
this.
come here. The artist herself.
Mama Boehlke.
Do you like it?
Really impressive. I actually cannot believe how from here that looks really great. Like you made
and
it
it's
look
kind of
better.
crazy because we're talking about art on the show today as well, so it all kind of works.
It all ties in. I'll pay you for that later or whatever.
No. It's our gift.
It's our gift. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Anyway,
Wow.
just wanted to brighten up your day, Jeremy.
Thank you. Well, there's that. And then believe it or not, guys, there's even more great stuff to get to today. Here's what you need to know and what's trending. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry gave son Archie a first birthday to remember. A source tells People that for Archie's big milestone on May 6th, Meghan made the cake for Archie to smash. It had strawberries and cream, while Dad Harry helped with the festive decor and blew up balloons.
The small celebration was at the family's Los Angeles home, but they made sure to video chat with loved ones. They also had 2 special guests, the family's dogs, Guy the Beagle, and a black lab the couple adopted in 2018. The source says that Archie is best friends with his dogs and that they make him laugh and are gentle with him.
On Archie's special day, Meghan and Harry shared a video of Meghan reading the children's book Duck Rabbit while an eager Archie sat on her lap. The video supported the Save with Stories campaign and Save the Children UK, which helps kids who have been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic.
4 days after the birthday festivities, Meghan celebrated her second Mother's Day, this year joined at a safe social distance by her mom, Doria Ragland, who also lives in LA.
Valerie Bertinelli is the cover star of this week's People, and she's opening up about loving herself after decades of worrying about her weight. She tells us she's learning to find the joy inside.
Bertinelli graced the cover of People in April of 2009, where she showed off her body in a green bikini. She had shed 40 pounds thanks to the Jenny Craig diet and a vigorous workout routine. But she tells us that while there's a lot of pride associated with that cover, there's also a lot of shame. She explains that while she worked hard physically, she wishes she had worked just as hard on her mental state.
Now, with some help from an interview series that she began on the Today Show in January, Bertinelli is finally facing the emotional issues that have plagued her for decades. The series is about finding a healthy mind-body connection. Bertinelli asks, quote, "How do I love me for who I am right now, today, in this body, at this age?"
Talking about her feelings hasn't always come easily for Bertinelli. She tells us that she traces that reluctance back to her childhood in Delaware. She's the third of 5 children, and she says she came into the world while her mother Nancy was grieving. Bertinelli's brother had tragically passed away at just 17 months old. She didn't learn about her brother's passing until she was a teenager, and sensed early on that her mother didn't know how to connect with her. She explains, quote, "My parents kept the tragedy locked inside. I now know my parents did the best they could."
Bertinelli became a working actor at 14, and that's when she became aware of how her body could affect her career. She says that scrutiny intensified when she landed the role of Barbara Cooper on the 70s sitcom One Day at a Time. She said this, quote, "I was always trying to be better, thinner, nicer, prettier."
And now at 60, Bertinelli is slowly letting go of the scale. She says, "Why do I have to know what number I am? I know it's really about the internal work."
On Instagram 1 year ago, Adele vowed to slow down and nurture happiness. A year later, she's done exactly that. A friend of Adele's tells us in this week's issue of People, quote, "In the past, the stress from balancing work and being a mom was intense. The friend adds that Adele is in a very good place, both physically and mentally.
The past year has certainly brought big changes for the singer, who announced her split from entrepreneur Simon Konecki last April after 7 years together. A friend says she and Simon live across the street from each other and are doing what's best for their son Angelo, who they share custody of. The friend adds that Angelo is Adele's world.
And amid the coronavirus pandemic, Adele has really embraced extra time at home. She's also stayed committed to her healthy new lifestyle and has continued to slim down with a diet and fitness regimen that includes Pilates and weight training. Sources tell us she quit smoking, reduced her drinking, got rid of sugar, and stopped eating processed foods.
But don't worry, Adele's signature sense of humor and penchant for profanity has remained intact. Adele's trainer, Pete, quips that the singer teases him and that he's gotten called every name under the sun by her. But he adds that she always worked out hard.
Despite the world's collective jaw drop over Adele's new look, sources say the star's motivation was never superficial. There's been some negative commentary online, but sources tell us Adele isn't paying attention to them. Another insider says Adele is, quote, the same cool chick who will tell you to bleep off if you try and second guess her. She is happy and fulfilled.
In this week's issue of People, we hear from S. Lee Merritt, an attorney for Ahmad R Barrys' mother. Merritt says the people that tried to cover up Arbery's murder, quote, pulled up everything they could to diminish his character.
Arbery was killed in broad daylight on February 23rd while jogging in a suburban neighborhood of Brunswick, Georgia. Merritt tells People that the root of his murder goes back to the criminalization of blackness, saying that the murder was a lynching. And at the time of the shooting, Gregory McMichael told the police that he and his son Travis chased Arbery after believing they recognized him as a suspect in recent break-ins. Travis told police that he shot Arbery after a struggle ensued over his shotgun.
The district attorney from neighboring Waycross County concluded that the shooting was done in self-defense and was a, quote, perfectly legal attempt to stop and hold a criminal suspect until law enforcement arrived. All that changed when a video of the shooting leaked, and now both father and son have been arrested and charged with murder and aggravated assault.
Merritt tells us that people involved in the cover-up were, quote, looking for a reason to invalidate Ahmad's life and therefore justify his murder. According to Merritt, the Arbery family is looking for extra convictions for anyone who participated in the cover-up, so they are not able to do the same thing to other families. The community, however, is still grieving and demanding answers. There's a memorial near the place where Arbery bled to death after being shot.
Protests are also being held in Brunswick, Georgia, and across the country to demand justice for the killing. Arbery's former football coach, Jason Vaughn, is asking, who can you trust now? And tells people that the police have a long road to go to gain back the trust of the community.
Vaughn adds that the initial story about the burglary did not sit well with him or with the community who knew Arbery.
Today's story to make you smile comes with a little bit of artistic creativity. People around the world have taken on the Museum Challenge, where works of art are reimagined with a modern twist. I love this, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like this one here by Vermeer, the iconic girl with a pearl earring, or cat with a pearl earring in this case. This interpretation is from Moscow, Russia. The creators chose their cat to be their model. Very funny. And honestly, dead on. Let's just be real.
Jeremy, you have cats. Maybe you can whip something up.
I will not be doing it, but it's a great idea.
All right, how about this one of Lady Lilith, who is a character in Jewish mythology. Kim Gonzalez from Valencia, Spain, chose to recreate this piece because it's from one of his favorite art periods, pre-Raphaelite. I love, it's full commitment here, red lipstick, he's got the kitchen utensils, very creative.
Absolutely all in. Then there's this recreation, which has a pretty great backstory. So the original piece is Picanoi's portrait of a young woman. Photographer Brian Beasley of Los Angeles, California, shot this photo of his wife, Coco Lorenzo, with a toilet paper collar. Beasley reveals that when the shelter-in-place order was established in LA, he became an out-of-work professional photographer, but once he saw the Museum Challenge, he knew it would be a great creative outlet for him and his young daughters. The entire project was a family affair and actually a really fun thing for everyone to get in on.
And that one's very topical. It's such a fun challenge to really spark some creativity. See more masterpieces from the Museum Challenge in this week's issue of People.
All right, stay with us. We're catching up with Lauren Lapkus. She's sharing her Animal Crossing updates and tips as we all continue to isolate at home. Plus, we're breaking down all of this season's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills drama with the show's star, Kyle Richards. Stick around.
All right, he is the king of Matt Talk, the Outbreak star of Netflix's Cheer. We love him so much. Now he's emceeing American Eagle's virtual prom. I'm joined now by Jerry Harris. Welcome. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing really well. How are you doing?
I'm good, hanging in there. You're in Chicago. I'm in Wisconsin, so we're basically neighbors.
Basically, yes.
Before we talk about the prom, how are you doing? How are you hanging in there?
I'm doing good. You know, I've been just spending a lot of time with my family, playing video games. We've been just bonding over it. I've been doing a lot of TikTok dances. I've been going live frequently on my Instagram just to interact with a lot of my fans out there. And I've been learning how to cook. So I've just been trying to utilize my time and try to maximize it so I don't get bored. So I've just been trying to keep myself busy.
Yeah, you're staying very active, and it's been really helpful for a lot of people because they look to you for positivity and joy. But we want to know, what brings you the most joy in these times?
Honestly, I would just have to say, just being with my family brings me a lot of joy. I FaceTime a lot of my friends from Navarro a lot, and I feel like they just bring me the joy. Just talking to them, hearing them, it makes me very happy.
Well, we're really glad to hear that you're doing well and you're safe and healthy. Let's talk about this prom. So proms across the country have been canceled due to social distancing guidelines and stay-at-home orders, which is a huge bummer for so many kids and so many people. I mean, American Eagle is now hosting its very own virtual prom on May 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern that you are going to be emceeing. So this is really exciting, and this can bring a lot of joy to people. When you first heard about this, I mean, why did you want to get involved?
When I first heard about it, I was very excited about it, and I really wanted to get involved because I know my sister is missing her prom, and I feel like this is a good way for her to like hop on and experience some sort of a prom, and mainly because it's something cool to me. Like, it's very exciting to me, so that's why I just have to jump on it.
Yeah, and this prom's gonna have it all. They're gonna have TikTok dancing there, live performances, photography. So it has the works. What are you most looking forward to?
I think I'm most looking forward to just being on it with everyone, with all the guest appearances, just talking to them, chatting with them, and then just interacting with a whole bunch of the viewers that will be on. I think that's what I'm most excited about. But I'm pretty much excited about the whole thing, to say the least.
I'm excited because I'm going to be there. I get to join and say hi. I'm super pumped. It's obviously giving seniors a chance to showcase their prom looks, their dancing, but it's also a way to give back. And this is an amazing thing that American Eagle is doing. So in what ways can you give back? How is this helping out?
Well, they're partnering with the American Food Fund, and they're actually matching $100,000. So people will be able to donate throughout the night if they choose to, because food donations are down actually, and people need food, and with everything going on, people aren't able to eat how they would normally eat. So I find that very amazing that they're able to do that.
I love it. I mean, has this caused you to reflect on your own prom experience, or is there a highlight or something you remember from your own prom?
Absolutely. So I went with one of my friends, that's a girl, and we actually ended up doing like an 8 count of dance. So we actually started the actual like dancing of the prom. Like, because everyone was just sitting down and eating, we were done. We were like, okay, this is boring. Let's get up and do something. So we just started our little dance, and it started everybody else to like get up and dance. So it really just started the night. I think that's probably the best experience.
I mean, you would be the person to start the dancing. I feel like everywhere you go, you start the dancing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a TikTok dance taught at the prom from Addison Rae. Have you learned the dance yet, or is this going to be new?
I feel like this is going to be brand new. So, and I'm excited to take the challenge and see what she got, and just match her on the dance and us just shine together. That's what I'm excited for.
I just wish I could dance, Jerry.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can dance.
No, I can't. It's embarrassing. My body doesn't move that way. I can't pick up choreography. It's just, that's why I'm so impressed by what you do. Let's talk about, okay, so everyone was so excited to see how Navarro did this year in Daytona after seeing you all win last year. As we know, the season ended early. Daytona was canceled due to coronavirus. What was your reaction to that? And has the sadness has it gotten easier as time's gone on?
Absolutely. At first, we were very upset. We even met up the day after we found out the event was canceled, and we just cried like in a circle together. And we really just spent the rest of that week bonding and just really enjoying the last moments we had with each other before we all had to depart and go home. And over the next few weeks, it was hard, but I think as time went by, it got easier, and we used the first couple weeks to grieve over it and allow ourselves to be sad. But then once it was all over and we realized the day had passed and it was over, we really just buckled down and we were just like, okay, well, it's a thing in the past and we're not gonna let it affect us moving forward, and we're just looking forward to everything that's coming up in the future. I know Monica's looking forward to having a new team and going to camp. So we're all just looking for other amazing things that we do have coming up instead of just focusing on the past. But
yes.
It is.
That's a great perspective. Everyone does want to know, because you are eligible to compete next year. Is that something that you're going to do? Have you made that decision yet?
I haven't made the decision yet, but it's definitely a big possibility.
Yeah. How are your teammates doing during this time? Are you on Zoom calls with them? Is there a group chat? Is Monica keeping everyone in line from a distance?
Absolutely. I think with this week, we're all finishing up our school year. We're in constant contact through our group chats, and we have Zooms occasionally here and there. But I think everyone is just finishing up school right now and just looking forward to the future.
All right, last thing here. Since you're the king of Matt Talk and spreading smiles and great vibes, we're hoping to get you to spread some positive vibes for people on the front lines and essential workers.
Yes, I got you. Let's go, nurses. We love you. Let's go, doctors. You guys are all amazing. We love you. We got you. Let's go.
I love it. That was amazing.
Yes.
All right, Jerry, thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you at the A&E and Me virtual prom. Can't wait.
Yes.
In this week's issue of People, we're getting all the details from Kristen Bell on her new kids' book about inclusivity. The world needs more purple people. She's also getting real about overcoming challenges with her husband, Dax Shepard.
Belle has been staying home with Shepard and their 2 children during the pandemic and tells people that the first 2 weeks were bleeping brutal. She says this: "We were driving each other nuts and we were fighting so much, but we worked it out like adults. The good thing is, even when we're fighting, we still laugh at each other and at ourselves."
Yeah, but don't worry, the couple is in a great place now. Belle stresses the importance of taking breaks while being cooped up inside. She even admits that she and Shepard took a breather and didn't talk to each other for 2 days. It helped them calm down and, quote, not think the other person was the most annoying person on the planet. I think I understand that. You have to create space even within a small space.
The actress is also tackling the challenge of homeschooling 5-year-old Delta and 7-year-old Lincoln. She says that just 5 days into the stay-at-home order, she ripped up the color-coded schedules she had made. Instead of focusing on schedules, she says she's trying to finish all the schoolwork if they can. She explains that the priorities are one thing for your brain, one thing for your body.
Though Belle is the primary teacher, Shepard trades off with her and makes sure to show his support by tapping Belle out when she gets frustrated. She says, "He's made me feel like I'm not doing it by myself, which has made me fall much deeper in love with him." She goes on to add, "I think I'd pull my hair out if I thought it was all up to me."
I think the most important thing I've learned is like visiting other people's islands really helps because they have different stuff that you don't have. So I've had to like go to people's islands. They have a different store than I have, which has different stuff to buy, which makes my island better. And then my island points go up. I had a 2-star island for a while. That's really embarrassing.
Lauren Lapkus is keeping busy in isolation, playing Animal Crossing at home with her husband, Mike Castle. Like many of us, she says they have an obsession and can't stop playing. Well, I recently spoke with the actress about her new Netflix film, The Wrong Missy. But before we got into it, she gave me an update on her Animal Crossing space and how her husband cheated the game.
Yeah, now I have like 4 rooms. It's really, I'm in debt like $1 million, but I have 4 rooms. It's really great. But my husband actually, Mike didn't have the patience for the game and he like time hopped to like get ahead of the game and it messed up everything. And I mean, I had to like scold him and fix it. He was cheating.
I got to chat with Mike last month about his Netflix series, Bruise Brothers. And during the interview, Lauren came up when Mike's co-star, Alan Eisenberg, revealed that the couple are 2 of the most quick-witted people he's ever met. So we asked Lauren, who's the more witty one between them. Watch.
I guess I have to say him so I sound humble. But I don't know. Alan, that was so sweet of Alan. I think Alan is like the nicest guy ever. I don't know why he would feel intimidated by me, but it's very flattering. I think it was a compliment, so I'll just take it.
Yeah, and Mike's a comedian. Do you 2 ever practice comedy together or run jokes by the other person?
We just joke around all the time. So I think it's just part of our relationship to be funny together. And we do podcasts together and stuff from home. So we're often just finding ways to perform together and make each other laugh, which is really nice during this time. At least I'm quarantined with somebody who's funny.
While Mike is making Lauren laugh in isolation, she is hoping fans will find the funny in her outrageous character in The Wrong Missy. Here's a clip.
Are these for me?
Those aren't.
You got me roses? That is so sweet. I want to motorboat him.
Now, the movie's about a middle-aged businessman who accidentally invites the wrong woman to his company's Hawaii retreat. I asked her if it was ever a challenge portraying such an over-the-top character.
It was. I mean, this character is so crazy, and I'm really excited for people to see it because it's just so off the wall. But it was challenging in the sense that like I had to have so much energy every day because we were shooting for long days, and this character is like screaming for like 90% of the movie. So I feel like I had to like be firing on all cylinders all the time. And I mean, that was really good for me, but also, yeah, hard sometimes because you just get tired and you want to not put out a lot of energy.
Because some of the scenarios are so absurd, was there ever a time that you broke character or just it was really difficult to get through a certain scenario?
Yes, there were many points where we were just laughing or we couldn't believe we were doing certain things. There was the episode, I mean, the scene on the plane, I think is a good example because when I first like re-encounter his character on the plane, we have a moment and it was just, it's so silly that we couldn't stop laughing. It truly was like, once you see it, you'll know.
In the film, Lauren stars alongside David Spade, who she has been a longtime fan of. She shares what it was like working with him and the special way that they bonded off set.
I think just how nice he is and how warm he is, because he, you know, when you see him do his comedy, he can be so sarcastic, or you know, he just, you wouldn't necessarily assume that he would be like one of the nicest people. So I truly was so surprised and delighted that he was such a good person and so easy to hang out with. And you know, we watched The Bachelor together. It was like he's very easy to hang out with. He's a cool guy.
I'm obsessed with his Instagram stories about The Bachelor. So funny. Are you watching this latest spinoff, Bachelor Listen to Your Heart?
I am. I mean, I'm watching it, and I'm also like Mike and I are doing watch-alongs where we record a podcast where we talk over the entire show, and you can sync it up with it, so you can hear every single thought we have while we watch the show. Because I usually do Instagram stories, but I was like, I just want to talk over the whole thing. So I love this show. It's kind of amazing because like I love The Bachelor, but it's really fun to watch these contestants like who are all amazing singers, and they have to perform together. It's like a whole other element. So I'm very into it.
Speaking of David Spade, have you heard the pleas for David Spade to play Tiger King's Joe Exotic instead of Nicolas Cage in the upcoming scripted TV show adaptation of the docuseries? I got Lauren's take on it.
I think he would be the funniest Joe Exotic. I mean, that would be so funny. I don't know. I saw that Nicolas Cage was cast in the role, so I guess they're taking a more like real approach to that because he's so methody, you know, but I mean, David would be so funny as that role. I would love to just see him do a sketch as Joe Exotic. I mean, it would be hilarious.
The Wrong Missy is produced by Adam Sandler's production company, Happy Madison. You might have heard of it. Lauren shares what it was like working with Adam and his team.
Yeah, Adam did come around and hang out, and he also worked on the script a bit, so he was definitely involved, and he's just the best. I truly was like, I had a small role in Blended, which is a movie they did a few years ago, and like, I didn't think they would even like remember me from that. So to be able to come back and have this bigger role in this movie and get to work with these guys again was so cool. Because I've just admired them for years, and it was just amazing. And everyone in that whole crew, and like from the hair and makeup people to like, you know, every single department, they've been working together for so many years with Happy Madison. So it was really neat to be able to like fall into the crew and hang out.
Now, the premise of The Wrong Missy is pretty relatable. I asked Lauren if she has ever sent out a wrong text.
I've received a text about me. I've been on the receiving end, so it's not cool. It doesn't feel good.
Wait, what was it?
It wasn't great. I don't even know. It was just talking about me to somebody else. But it was one of those things where I'm like, I have to just forgive because I understand this is a mistake. I could easily have made this mistake. And like when you're texting about somebody, it's so easy to text that person because you're thinking about that person, and then you type their name in. I mean, it was rough, but it wasn't like so mean that I couldn't handle it, but it was just kind of like, oh, it's weird to like see someone talking about you to somebody else. And
yeah, I don't know. It just makes me cringe. I think it's just as a rule of thumb, it's probably good just to not talk bad about your friends. Like maybe like that's the lesson.
I think that is the big takeaway, because like my first piece of advice would be like slow down and make sure you're texting the right person, but probably better just to not talk about your friends negatively. Yeah.
Yeah. And then another piece of the movie, you know, Tim and Missy go on a blind date, gone wrong. I mean, have you ever been on a blind date or something like that from the past?
I'm really grateful that I haven't. I tend to like date people for long periods of time. So like I've been on like a handful of dates in my life, but none of them were terrifying in the way that this blind date is, thankfully. But I don't know if I could handle it if I went on a blind date with someone and they just started screaming and starting fights. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you been on a blind date before?
I've never been on a blind date, but I've done a lot of online dating. And but I feel like it's kind of like a blind date. You don't know the person. You just have an idea of what they look like. But then sometimes they show up and they don't really look like that, you know? It's rough. So you've been married to Mike for a little over a year and a half, but is there anything that you miss about dating?
Oh, not really. I think I'm so grateful that I found like the person that I'm really excited to be with all the time. So I don't really miss the feeling of like trying to find that person. But I think those moments when you're single, it can be really exciting to try to like go out with different types of people and hopefully find that connection. But I'm just grateful.
Everyone, be sure to check out The Wrong Missy. It streams on Netflix starting May 13th.
Leave me alone. I'm done with this. I'm just gonna go home.
Please say goodbye.
That's wrong. Goodbye.
Tonight's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills starts where last week's left off, with Kyle Richards tearfully fighting with the other ladies after she and Dorit got into a fight about Dorit coming late to Teddy's retreat. One of our producers, Sam Belikoff, caught up with Kyle about the events surrounding that dinner and a lot more of the drama to come this season. Take a look.
Well, last week wasn't a fun week for me. There's a lot of things you can't always explain with the audience, and it's really frustrating. So, Dorit's my friend, and I care about her, and we got into that argument, and we, of course, then made up, and then the show airs, and it causes, tension again. You see the interviews and all that.
We mentioned last week's episode with Dorit, so you and her seem to get into it quite a bit this season from last week, but also the trailer.
Kyle, I have a life!
You immediately get like this blind defensiveness.
I would defend all my girlfriends.
Kyle, let me finish! You finish! I never stopped talking!
What do you think are at the root of your issues with her when you two do have issues?
I don't think that we, see eye to eye. I really care about Dorit. I think she's fun and, funny, and I love to go out and have fun with her. She's beautiful. She's got great style, but the other side, we just don't see eye to eye. We're very, very different people, and when you are two different people like that, and you're just not going to agree, and we can really drive each other crazy sometimes.
What do you think her issues with your and Teddy's friendship are?
I think that a lot of people haven't been used to seeing that close of a friendship on the show, to be honest. Like Lisa and I, of course, were very close, but Teddy is it's almost like a sister relationship, and we're just more like, I don't know, chill kind of person. I mean, chill, people maybe disagree with me about that. We really do have a close, genuine relationship, and I think that maybe Dorit just thinks I don't know. I said, or maybe you don't have close friends, I don't know.
You were annoyed with Dorit arriving late to Teddy's retreat in glam. Do you think overall that she focuses too much on glam? And is there a sort of behind the scenes, like, she's focusing on glam, but I'm not, and I'm coming to the same event?
Yeah, I do think that, yes. I think that, we are a reality show, and that's not my reality to get hair and makeup done to go to a workout thing and then not actually work out. So that's weird to me. Erica did glam, but she still also got up and left her house at 5 a.m. and, was on time. And we're told, a car's coming to get you. It's not like, we're just deciding when we're going to leave, whatever. So the event started at a certain time. So that's frustrating to me that, we've all signed up for this and she's coming late because she wants to have her hair and makeup done. It's just a little frustrating to me. And I don't relate to having to have hair and makeup done for workout.
Yeah.
I don't relate to that.
In the last episode, you made a point about Dorit having selective memory because you defended her and even lost a friendship with Lisa Vanderpump. I don't want to make something too deep if it's not there, but do you feel resentment towards her over losing that friendship?
No, I don't. I mean, I made the choice to speak up and say what I felt was right. And, but what I didn't like was that she's like, you never defend me. No, it's easy for you to say. And by the way, when have I defended Teddy so much over the top, over little silly things? I don't even know what she was referring to, honestly. So I didn't get that either. But no, I don't have any resentment about that at all. I just was like, how do you not remember what drama, how we all went through great lengths? And also people don't really get or know Dorit who watch the show, will say things to me like, ask about her. I'm always, speaking highly of her and defending her like I was trying to say in the scene that night. So yeah. I was like, do not even start with me.
Touching a bit on Lisa Vanderpump, I know everybody's asked you if you missed filming with her, so I'm not going to ask you that, but I do want to know, in your gut, do you think she's watching this season?
Probably my guess would be yes.
What's
I think yes.
Garcelle made some shady comments about you on Watch What Happens Live, which you said came as a surprise to you. Have you heard from her yet since you were on Watch What Happens Live and addressed it?
No, but she's been like, commenting on my Instagram. I think that, I don't know. I was honest about that. I didn't understand it hurt my feelings because I think anyone watching the show can see that I've been nice with her. And, I welcomed her to my home and, in my speech said something really nice about her. And I was like hugging her, sitting with her and teasing with her the whole time. And so I think people have commented too on Instagram and Twitter, like, I've only seen her be nice with you. I don't get it. So she's been, making nice comments on my Instagram. And she said, Happy Mother's Day. And I said, thank you, you too. So.
Nice.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We have a long way to go this season, though.
So fancy.
Who gives a shit if I have a goddamn ice sculpture?
Last week, Denise had an ice sculpture of a diamond and diamonds in the drinks. On the show, you spoke about it seeming too fancy. Did you think it was breaking the fourth wall too much since the Beverly Hills Housewives hold diamonds?
Yes, and that was another thing that you can't say because we don't acknowledge that we're on a show on the show. But I was like, she said it was a pizza and ice cream outdoor party. So, we were having like sneakers. Well, not everybody, but, not to wear sneakers, we were told, and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, pizza and ice cream. And then I see this, like, it was ginormous diamond ice sculpture. And then the ice cubes. And I was like, ready just to pick up an ice cube and go like this. I was like, #RHOBH.
A lot of the women have spoken about how the rumored affair between Brandi Glanville and Denise Richards is not all there is to the Denise Richards drama. If you had to put a number to it, what percentage of the Denise drama is about Brandi, in your opinion?
I mean, obviously, for Denise's perspective, probably, 9. But for us, what happened was it was stuff that was being said about all of us. Some of us say it on camera, some of us say it off camera behind their backs. So that's what prompted like a disagreement between the women. It has nothing to do with, what happened between Brandi or Denise or whatever that's between them. That's not our issue, but it was part of it came up during that conversation. So that was the bigger part of like, how do you really feel? Let's be honest about your feelings instead of saying these things behind people's backs.
Just to clarify, you mean 9 out of 10 for Denise is what you think?
I mean, I would think. I mean, if I'm in her shoes, yes, I would not be caring about what I had said about the other women. I'd be caring about what was being brought up about my life.
What's your relationship with Brandi right now? What can you tease?
I mean, just surprisingly, I never thought that Brandi's someone that I would get along with because we started off in such a bad way, and we're also night and day, people. But I see that Brandi's also a very vulnerable person, and when she feels vulnerable, she can lash out at times. But she's a good person. But it took me a very long time to figure that out.
When you called Denise a ragamuffin last week, you commented on her Instagram and apologized. She's appearing on Watch What Happens Live this week. So obviously, it seems like she's still in the mix this season. It's different than Lisa that's kind of just cut off from everyone. Like, in your gut, do you think she's done with these friendships, or is there a pathway to the future?
Denise?
Yeah.
Oh no, for sure there's a pathway. I mean, I actually had no issues with Denise before this. I like Denise. We had the issue at her house, but it was, there's rough nights in reality television. What can I say? If I were not being 100% honest, I would be, perfect all the time. But that's what I was feeling in the moment. And I chose the word ragamuffin because my mom would say, don't run around like a ragamuffin, you brush your hair or something like that. I didn't think it was that mean. That's why I said it in my interview. It was not, I thought it was worse, like teasing. But obviously, I feel bad about saying that now. But I think that there's always room for repair. We've had these bumps in the road, but I like Denise. I like all the women in the cast. That doesn't mean that I don't want to strangle them sometimes.
We'll have even more of our interview with Kyle Richards tomorrow. But in the meantime, you can catch Kyle in tonight's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills at 8 p.m. Eastern on Bravo.
Also coming up tomorrow, we'll hear more from Jimmy O. Yang, including the fun way the Crazy Rich Asians cast keeps in touch to this day.
Plus, Catherine McPhee's revealing her plans for her 1-year wedding anniversary.
Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and healthy. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.